Hi, my name is Dave Crouch. I'm a chiropractor here in Dana Point. I'm also a certified master practitioner and trainer of neuro-linguistic programming and a certified master hypnotherapist. The reason for this is I wanted to let people know that we're going to be developing a series of products soon that will focus on transformational change, that apply hypnosis, neuro-linguistic programming, and a number of other guiding philosophies, techniques, and strategies that are aimed at helping people develop personally and spiritually. I attended a hypnosis seminar recently, and sitting out in the parking lot during the breaks was an awful lot of people smoking and sort of really identifying with the limitations that hold them back in their lives. And I thought, this is really sad. One, they haven't mastered the material well enough to change their own lives, yet they're going to be charging exorbitant fees to help other people presumably change theirs. And it also occurred to me that the focus, both in the seminar and in the discussions that were going on the side, were all very problem-focused. They weren't growth-oriented. And hypnosis, for anyone who's been in it for a very long time, eventually becomes a vehicle for communication to other aspects of the self, deeper parts of the unconscious mind, but also parts of the superconscious or transpersonal mind that we otherwise wouldn't have access to in ordinary waking states of consciousness. There's a lot of potential in both hypnosis and NLP to touch the spiritual potential within a person and to help that person move beyond the limitations that confine them and define them, and to start potentiating certain capabilities. One of my heroes in Ericksonian hypnosis is a gentleman named Stephen Gilligan, and in his book Therapeutic Trances, he uses the phrase potentiation of unconscious resources. I'd heard one person reframe that to saying potentiation of other than conscious resources. And it occurred to me in working with clients of my own that it's also the potentiation of non-ordinary states of consciousness that are outside of our physical awareness, that mind is not resident in the brain. If it's not resident in the brain, where it is residing at has access to a number of streams of data and information that we don't typically have access to in our day-to-day lives. And that by using hypnosis and NLP to suspend critical consciousness long enough to permit intuitive consciousness to move through mind and through body, we can grow in ways we haven't yet imagined. I've done a lot of hypnosis with people where the focus has not been, gosh, I want to quit smoking, gosh, I don't want to be afraid of bridges anymore, gosh, I want to lose 20 pounds. It's been more about opening up the doors of perception, opening up the ability of the mind to conceive of alternatives to their current is, and to move really from what their now is to what their next is. And the difference between next and now is really one of unfolding capabilities and releasing the prison of expectation. When you do hypnosis with people, you watch them drop into a trance, you can see their bodies relax and change. Their posture is different. Their breathing is different. The muscle tone in their body is radically different. And then when you're done with the session, they start to rouse up. The same old postural issues begin to recruit again. The muscles come back into play. And the person sort of has to go through this process of reminding themselves of who they are, what their limitations are, what their fascinations are, their obsessions, their preoccupations. And they have to remind themselves that I am this person. This is who I am. These are the things on my plate. These are my commitments. These are my beliefs. But they're in a much more interesting space when they haven't yet reminded themselves of who they are, when they don't forecast projections into the future of what their life ought to look like based on what they've internalized as an assumption of their character. They're free to explore new capabilities that they otherwise would not have explored. So the product line we're going to be coming out with is not about, gosh, can I do a 6-step reframe to get rid of a phobia or a fear or a limitation? Can I do a new behavior generator to make sure that I'm more confident in my sales presentations? It's not going to be about that. It's going to be using familiar NLP patterns. It's going to be using familiar hypnosis patterns. but it's going to be using them for the purposes of potentiating translinear resources. What I mean by that is each one of us lives effectively in our perceptions within a timeline. We imagine what our future ought to look like or what it may look like given certain conditions. We base that on our understanding of where we are now and our reference experiences that are in our past. Translinear is to say, if we're not in this timeline, if I'm not confined to this is, if I can break out of this is and see other potentials, what can I glean from them? And how can that improve or change my life? How can that help me change in my personal development? One friend of mine has once said, the concerns of a caterpillar are not the same as the concerns of a butterfly. Metamorphosis is a common theme in the NLP and hypnosis world. What we want to do is actually help people interested in moving into future development do so through these tools. We are what we think. Our expectations shape, color, and create our experience. And the way we connect to our environments, both our internal environments and our external environments, determines the meaning and value that we gather from our experience in life. So what we hope to do in the series ahead, and the products that we'll be making, is to provide tools that change the way you connect to experience, and hence change the meaning and value that you experience in your day-to-day life. If you have any questions, I can be reached at my email, which is davecrouchdc@gmail.com. I also have a website, mydanapointchiropractor.com. I can be emailed there or messaged on the blog site. And I can also be called at our business line, which is the 949 area code. It's 436-2926. Please feel free to contact us. Please feel free to let us know what you might hope to change as a result of progressive metamorphosis and development. And certainly as things progress and as we start getting more and more products created towards this end, we'll make sort of snippets and previews for them available on this YouTube channel so that you can decide for yourself if this is something that's going to work well for you. That's all I know. Have a blessed and gracious day, and we'll see you online.